Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're venturing into the deep, dark, and controversial corners of cinema history with one of the most infamous films ever made, Ruggero Deodato's Cannibal Holocaust. This 1980 cult classic has a reputation that precedes it, largely because of its shocking beginning. But what makes the opening of Cannibal Holocaust so iconic? We're diving into the director's vision, production challenges, and the lasting cultural impact of this controversial film. So grab your metaphorical machetes as we carve through the chaos and controversy that surrounds this cinematic shocker. First off, let's set the scene. Cannibal Holocaust opens with a documentary-style segment supposedly capturing the tragic fate of a film crew lost in the Amazon. This found footage style was groundbreaking at the time, long before it became a staple in horror with movies like The Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity. The man behind this brutal vision was Italian director Ruggero Deodato. Known for his work in the horror and thriller genres, Deodato sought to blur the lines between fiction and reality in an effort to comment on the sensationalism in media. He wanted to provoke and disturb the audience, holding up a mirror to society's darkest aspects. In an interview, film historian David Noble describes Deodato's approach. Ruggero Deodato was challenging viewers to confront violence and misery head-on, reflecting the voyeuristic tendencies of Western media consuming tragedy for entertainment. But vision doesn't always translate smoothly into production. The opening scenes were shot in remote parts of the Amazon rainforest, which brought logistical nightmares. The crew was regularly faced with harsh weather conditions, equipment failures, and communication barriers with local indigenous tribes. These conditions were not only physically taxing, but also added a raw authenticity to the footage. Former cinematographer on the film, Sergio Dofizzi, recounted in an interview how the dense jungle atmosphere and unpredictable sunlight forced him to improvise constantly. Every day was a gamble. Nature dictated our shooting schedule, he recalls. Despite these trials, the crew managed to adapt, creating the visceral and realistic footage that remains a hallmark of the film. The film's pioneering use of the found footage technique forever changed the horror genre. While Deodato wasn't the first to use a mockumentary style, Cannibal Holocaust pushed boundaries in ways that had never been seen before. The utilization of this narrative technique added an unparalleled layer of tension and authenticity, leaving viewers to question what they were watching. It paved the way for subsequent films to use this method to create immersive and unsettling experiences for audiences. Film critic Emily Carter points out, what made Cannibal Holocaust so impactful was its raw presentation. It exploited the power of suggestion, fear of the unknown, and what's left to the imagination, elements that future filmmakers would harness to terrifying effect. Additionally, the depiction of indigenous peoples raised accusations of exploitation and racism. Deodato insisted his intention was to critique Western misconceptions and the exploitation of the other. Yet many critics believe the film ultimately failed in its portrayal, perpetuating harmful stereotypes instead. Cultural anthropologist Dr. Linda Tetley states, while Deodato aimed to expose and criticize, his work unintentionally reinforces damaging tropes. The indigenous characters are largely voiceless, presented as exotic and savage, mirroring colonialist ideologies. Despite, or perhaps due to, these controversies, Cannibal Holocaust left an indelible mark on film history. Directors such as Eli Roth and Quentin Tarantino have cited the film as influential, utilizing its provocative techniques in their own work. Its legacy lives on as a testament to the power of cinema to shock, provoke, and inspire. In a rare sit-down interview, Francesca Ciardi, who played one of the lead roles, reflects on the legacy of the film. Filming Cannibal Holocaust felt dangerous, like we were treading new territory. It was chaotic and challenging, but ultimately groundbreaking. We knew we were making something that would be unforgettable, but none of us anticipated the level of controversy it would spark.
We'll be back.
The beginning of Cannibal Holocaust endures as a significant moment in cinema history because it challenged narrative conventions and aesthetic boundaries. Whether viewed as groundbreaking art or gratuitous exploitation, it continues to evoke discussion on media ethics and representation, proving that its impact transcends the confines of horror and enters broader cultural conversations. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the controversial start of Cannibal Holocaust. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss our explorations into film history and culture. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on Cannibal Holocaust and what other cinematic controversies you think we should explore next. Thanks for watching.